For as long as I could remember, my days had followed the same quiet rhythm. I worked as an accountant in a small company, balancing numbers that always made more sense than feelings ever did. I lived alone, and sometimes the silence in my apartment seemed to know my name. Grace, my closest friend and colleague, often reminded me that life was meant to contain more than spreadsheets and routine. Neither Grace nor I could dance salsa, but we both loved everything about it. The music carried a joy that seemed too light for everyday life, and watching strangers laugh while they danced always filled me with a longing I could never quite explain. One afternoon, Grace told me about a large salsa festival in the city park the following Saturday. I hesitated, hearing all the reasons to stay home, yet another quieter voice inside me whispered that perhaps something unexpected was waiting there. Saturday evening arrived dressed in warm air and golden light. By the time I reached our meeting place, music floated through the park like bright ribbons, and hundreds of dancers moved together as though they shared one heartbeat. Then my phone vibrated. Grace apologized, saying she had fallen ill and could not come, and the happiness I had borrowed from the evening slipped gently through my fingers. I placed my phone back into my bag and turned to leave. Just then, someone gently took my hand, and the touch was so calm that it startled me more than it frightened me. Standing before me was a handsome, elegantly dressed man, perhaps in his mid-50s, smiling with quiet confidence. "Would you like to dance?" he asked, as naturally as if we had known each other for years. Heat rushed into my cheeks as I shook my head. "No, I'm sorry," I replied. "I'm only here to watch, and I don't even know how to dance salsa." His smile grew softer instead of fading. "It's quite simple," he said. "Just listen to the rhythm of the music." Before I had time to think, he took my other hand and led me gently toward the dance floor. Every sensible thought urged me to pull away, yet another feeling, quieter and stronger, invited me to stay. His hands were warm, without holding too tightly, and somehow they seemed to tell me that I was safe. I wondered why trusting a stranger suddenly felt easier than trusting my own fears. The music surrounded us, and for a moment I forgot where I was. My feet, usually so careful and uncertain, began to answer the rhythm without asking my permission. I realized with astonishment that I was dancing. It felt less as though I had learned the steps than as though I had remembered something my heart had always known. Time dissolved until only the music, his gentle smile, and the quiet happiness inside me remained. When the final notes faded into the evening air, we stood motionless, looking into each other's eyes. Tears gathered before I even understood why. I stepped forward, embraced him, and whispered, "That was the most beautiful moment I've had in a long time." He held my gaze with a seriousness that made the world around us seem wonderfully distant. "I hope many more dances will follow, he said, and his words settled somewhere deep inside me, where hope had been sleeping for years. We stood together for another silent moment before the crowd slowly carried us in different directions. As I walked home beneath the first stars, I could not decide whether I had met an ordinary man or whether, just for one song, life itself had chosen to dance with me.